Hello, my dear friends. Dear friends, I am once again back with the summary of one more novel of Thomas Hardy, that is The Well-Beloved, a sketch in temperament. This novel actually belongs to the last phase of the career of Thomas Hardy as a novelist. Why? Because after writing Jude the Obscure and probably this novel, Hardy gave up novel writing because of being condemned all badly. So this novel is from the last phase of Thomas Hardy. This novel was probably serialized in the year 1892, and in the book form this novel was published in the year 1897. Remember, novel was serialized way back in the year 1892 and was published in a book form in the year 1897. This novel is all about Jocelyn Pearson, a 20-year-old young man, when the novel begins or opens on the Isle of Slingers. He is the protagonist of this novel. He is a sculptor and trying to create in stone the image of that ideal woman he has in his mind. And he too tries to find that ideal woman in flesh. So now let's look at the summary of this novel of Thomas Hardy. The Well-Beloved, a sketch of temperament, published in the book form in the year 1897 and serialized way back in the year 1892. Summary: Jocelyn Pearson is the protagonist. He is a sculptor. He is here, sculptor on the islands of Slingers. The novel shows his relation with three generations of the Caro family. Caro family is made mention in the novel, and the novel shows the relation of this young man to not one generation but three generations of this family, that is Caro family. In first part, so the novel is divided in three parts. The first part is what about? In first part of novel, Jocelyn, a 21-year-old man, comes to the Isle of Slingers from London. Remember that. The novel is divided in three parts. In the first part of the novel, we see Jocelyn Pearson, a 21-year-old man, coming from London. He comes from London and gets settled on the Isle of Slingers. We soon get to know that he is a sculptor. See this. It is said that he is looking for the well-beloved, an intangible form of feminine beauty that I just told you, that he is in search. He wants to create what? The image of that just a perfect beauty of a woman he has in his own mind. At the same time, he is also looking for that image. He's looking for that woman. He's looking for that woman he has in his own mind, the image, in reality, in flesh. And that's why he comes to one of the Isles of the Slingers. See, it is said that he is looking for the well-beloved, an intangible form. Intangible, that we can only feel, intangible form of feminine beauty that manifests itself in various women. He thinks that the concept is in Avis Caro, his childhood friend, and very soon he realizes that that woman with the perfect beauty he has been looking for is actually none other than his childhood friend Avis Caro. Avis Caro is a young girl from the Caro family. She is the childhood friend of Jocelyn Pearson. And he realizes, he thinks that she is the beauty. She is that beauty. She is that woman. He has the image in his own mind that he wants to create in stone and that he wants to find in flesh. And then what happens, you know that? They start romance and one and all see Avis's innocence. So since he realizes that she is that beauty, the image he has in his own mind and he is in search of, very soon they fall in love and start romancing. And after that, we see the purity, the innocence, the qualities of this young woman, Avis Caro. But very soon, what happens? You see this. What happens? Soon, Jocelyn comes across Miss Marika Bencombe and somehow thinks that the well-beloved has been well settled in her. But see, when just Jocelyn and Avis Caro start romancing, what happens? Another woman enters or another woman catches the eyes of Jocelyn Pearson, and that is Marika Bencombe. The moment this young man's eyes settle or set or stay on this woman Marika Bencombe, at once he gets a kind of a feel that actually Avis Caro is not the woman. He has the image in his own mind and that he wants to create in stone and finds in flesh. He says that no, Avis Caro is not the woman of that perfect beauty. He has the image in his own mind, but Marika Bencombe is that woman. And they part their ways. They stop romancing, and now this young man wants to get closer to this young woman, Marika Bencombe, and very soon he proposes her marriage. But her father, Mr. Bencombe, does not allow them to marry and takes her abroad. See what happens. And somehow thinks that the well-beloved has been in her. He rejects Avis and proposes Marika Bencombe. Marika. But see, Mr. Bencombe, father of probably Marika, does not allow marriage and takes Marika abroad. On the other hand, Avis weds her cousin. So see, when just Jocelyn Pearson changes his mind, changes his mood, just thinking that Avis is not the woman of his mind, of his thought, of his imagination. Alright, what happens? Abbas decides to marry her cousin and they wed. Here, on the other hand, he proposes Marika Bencom marriage, but her father does not allow and takes Marika Bencom abroad. Then what happens? You see this. In the second part, now what happens in the second part of the novel? In the second part of the novel, we see Jocelyn well respected and rich as a sculptor at the age of 40. So, in the second part of the novel, we see Jocelyn Pearson as a man of 40. In the second part of the novel, we see Jocelyn Pearson well settled as a rich sculptor whose age is 40. Remember that. He gets back to the Isle after hearing of the death of Avis and meets her daughter Anne working as a laundress. So see, in the second part of the novel, we see that he is a well-known just a sculptor, he is well settled, he is rich, but in the meantime, he gets the news of the death of Avis Caro. So he gets back, means he comes back to the Isle of Slingers. When he comes back to the Isle of Slingers, after hearing the news of the death of his childhood friend, Avis Caro, he comes across his beautiful daughter, that is Anne. See this. And meets her daughter Anne. And what is Anne working as? She is working as a laundress. Laundress, a washerwoman, one who washes clothes in a laundry. So when he comes back to the Isle of Slingers after getting the news of the death of his childhood friend, he sees her beautiful daughter Anne working as a laundress. The moment his eyes rest on her, he at once gets this kind of a feel that yes, this is the woman of perfect beauty. I have the image in my mind, or she is the woman of the perfect beauty I have been looking for many years. And he decides to propose her for marriage. But what happens? See this. His infatuated, thinking that she is a reincarnation of Avis, means her mother. He proposes her, but she declines on the ground. She is married to Isaac Pearson and delivers a child and names Avis after her mother. So, the moment he sees Avis's daughter, his childhood, just you can say friend, he falls in love with this young woman, young girl, and he proposes her for the marriage, but she declines the proposal of the marriage on the ground that she's already married to Isaac Pearson. And very soon we see that Anne delivers a baby. She gives birth of a baby with her union to Isaac Pearson. Then what happens? See, the second part is all about that. And see, this Anne names her just daughter Avis after her mother. See what happens in the last part of the novel. In the last part of the novel, Jocelyn is 60. So in the first part, 21, 22nd part 40, in the third part 60. Again he goes to the Isle of Slingers, hearing of Isaac's death, and again proposes her marriage. See, third time he returns to the Isle of Slingers, hearing the news of the death of the husband of Anne and daughter of Aviscaro. Who is Aviscaro? Childhood friend of Jocelyn. This time when he hears the news of the death of Anne's husband and daughter of his childhood friend Avis, he again wants to propose her. Why? Because now he knows that her husband Isaac Pearson is dead, so he thinks that she will accept. So he proposes her. He proposes her for the marriage, but very soon he sees Anne's daughter. And what was the name of what Anne named her daughter after her mother, Avis? See what happens. But when he sees her daughter, falls for her, thinking that the well-beloved has incarnated within her. So he pays court to her only in the night, and his features remain obscure. So, see, first of all, he proposes just Anne. Why? Because her husband is dead. But when his eyes rest on her daughter, just he thinks that she is the beauty. She is that ideal, beautiful woman of his own imagination. All right, now he starts just courting her. He starts paying courts to her, but in the night time. And it's all because of the darkness of the night. This young girl, daughter of Anne Caro, is unable to see those wrinkles and crinkles and so many other body features that speak volume about the old age of this man who is 60. But one day she sees that old man behind the wrinkles and crinkles and all, and she is repulsed. But what happened? So he pays court to her only in the night, and his features remain obscure. So when she realizes he is old, she is repulsed. Jocelyn proposes for Avis only to elope the same night. And now he proposes her to elope with him the same night. When Anne hears about this, that man, childhood friend of her mother, who proposed her to, has now proposed her daughter and even eloped with her. She's shocked, and that shock kills her. She dies. And just dies, and Caro dies of shock. At last, Jocelyn enters a platonic marriage with Marika Bencomb, and the novel ends with this thing, or when the novel ends, we see at last Jocelyn, a 60-year-old man, enters a platonic marriage with his second love interest, that is Marika Bencomb. So that's it in this video, my dear friends. Provided that you find some complications related to this novel, feel absolutely free and do let me know. That's it in this video, my dear friends.